Edwin was the school principal. One day, he calls his friend George and tells him, "Hey man, we are throwing our first annual party and you gotta come. Last time at the school opening, you did not show up, but this time you have to come." George got agreed. The party was at the New Brand Hotel. When George rolls in, he sees 3 signs pointing to the different floors for the party. But here's the kicker. 2 other schools with the same name were having annual parties there too. George was totally confused about which floor to hit up. So, can you guess which sign is for Edwin's school party? The answer is the second sign is for Edwin's school. Remember, Edwin told George it was their first annual party, right? So it says first annual party. The first one says 15th annual party and the third one says 19th. That means George needs to head to the second floor. He makes it to the ground floor where Edwin meets him and takes him to a separate room. They started munching on some food, but after a bit, George just collapses and died right there. Someone called the cops. The inspector showed up and started grizzling Edwin and the manager. They both said, "We have no clue what just happened." The inspector took George to the lab, but there was a puzzle at the door and the inspector had to solve this to enter the lab. The equation was 3 plus 3 is equal to 6. The inspector needs to move 1 matchsticks but has to keep the answer as 6. So guys, can you tell how he can make this equation work again? Answer is, he should take 1 matchsticks from the addition sign and should join it with 6, by which the 6 would become 9 and the equation would become 9 minus 3, which is equal to 6. The doctor examined the body and after a couple of hours, doctor said he has been killed by a poison. Someone has given him a poison in the food. The inspector got shocked and he immediately went back to the hotel. But upon the arrival, he got another case. The building guard has committed suicide. He went to his room. The guard was hanging on the rope and had left a note saying that, "I have done the murder. I got scared that I would get caught and would go to jail, so ended up my life." But the inspector said, "No, it's not a suicide. Rather, it is a murder." So guys, can you tell what made him so sure that it is a murder? The answer is, look at the guard's feet. They are too far from the table. If he had really done this by himself, his feet would be closer. This suggests that someone else must have taken him out and he's trying to manipulate the scene. Someone deleted the CCTV footages, so it was hard for the inspector to solve the case. But he starts an investigation and ended up having doubt on the waiter, manager, receptionist, and Edwin. The receptionist said, "I do not know anything about this." He also said, surprisingly, no one showed up for Edwin's school annual party, except Edwin and George. The manager said, "There were 3 parties, so I was tied up with all the setup. I think it's either the waiter or the cook." The waiter and the cook said, "Why would we do this? We did not even know who the guy was. We have never met him." Edwin says, "Me and George were in the room, eating, and then George fell over and died." After listening to all, the inspector got confused and having no CCTV footages was making it tough for him to solve the murder mystery. So guys, can you tell who has done this? The answer is, Edwin and the manager have done it. They both took George out. The receptionist said no one else came to the party except for them, which means there was not even a party of Edwin's school. Plus, Edwin took George to another room, not the party hall. And the manager's story about the 3 parties is totally a lie. In fact, there were only 2. So Edwin and the manager are the ones behind this whole mess. The party was just an excuse. Their real intention was to call George there and kill him.